A battle over control of body-worn camera video could be brewing between Maricopa County's top prosecutor and the county's largest police department. Maricopa County Attorney Bill Montgomery's effort to exert more control over what public records can be released by police departments, and when, appears at odds with parts of Phoenix Police Chief Jeri Williams' new transparency protocol. The transparency protocol, which is ramping up in the department, would speed up and significantly increase the amount of video Phoenix police would make public after shootings, deaths or high-profile incidents. Our view, Bill Montgomery overstepped in bid to become information czar. That comes at the same time Montgomery sent letters to city leaders and police chiefs across the valley, putting in writing that departments should confer with his office when a request is filed for records that are evidence in an ongoing criminal investigation, especially footage from an officer's body-worn camera. Montgomery's letter does not describe a scenario in which police would release full video evidence. It does describe steps to limit release of video. Transcripts or selected details could be shared, it says, or a select group of community representatives could review a specific portion of a video. Related, county attorney seeks control of police records. A Phoenix police spokesman said this week that the department was moving forward with its video plans. The department's relationship with the county attorney's office will remain focused on presenting a case for a charging decision, and public records requests can be dealt with from inside the agency, a police spokesman said. Our transparency protocol is still going strong and seems to be working well, said Sergeant Jonathan Howard, the police spokesman. Chief Williams has clearly stated that we will be continuing with our protocol as anticipated. Close on May 8. County Attorney Bill Montgomery sent a letter to local police departments saying his office should review public records requests. Nate Kelly, AskCentral.com. Montgomery said Thursday that the protocol's collaborative approach covers police concerns while also addressing mutual obligations. He said his office reviewed the Phoenix protocol with the department, but the transparency protocol diverges from the system spelled out in Montgomery's letter. Montgomery's letter makes no mention of full release of video, instead spelling out a variety of reasons and methods to prevent such release. In contrast, the police protocol assumes full, prompt release. Montgomery's letter considers release of video evidence only in response to an official public records request. In contrast, the police protocol specifies how records will be released on a time frame, even when no records request has actually been filed. Police typically are expected to operate apart from prosecutors, and they maintain control over the decision of when and how to release records created by their agency, according to state law. Regardless of the protocol, Phoenix police will continue to collaborate with prosecutors in referring criminal cases for charges and are likely to withhold video if it could jeopardize a case. Phoenix police officials admit their public records process has been bogged down historically but say that's about to change. Forging ahead with the new protocol runs against parts of Montgomery's plan, on which the Arizona Republic first reported this week. The letter says the process has been in effect, though not having been reduced to writing, for at least the last 3 years. Close news media across the country use public records every day to report the news. Unfortunately, getting access to public records is, in some cases, getting more difficult. We explain why access to public records is so important. What Phoenix police plan to do. Per Phoenix's new protocol, police will release the names of officers involved in shootings within 7 days of an incident. The department will share information and records with officials, union representatives, command staffers, and the Community Relations Bureau within 14 days. In perhaps the biggest shift, all records and recordings will be shareable with families and news media within 30 days. There could be some variation because every incident will involve unique circumstances, Williams wrote in a 2017 email. The goal is to help communicate in a fair and consistent manner with our community when we have critical incidents, such as a fatal shooting, in custody death or other incident, generating significant community concern. The sharing of Information is critical to ensuring legitimacy with the people we serve, she wrote. Releasing records according to the policy hasn't happened yet, largely because of a miscommunication within the department's records unit, Howard said. That has since been corrected, he said, adding that records from several shootings should be released in coming weeks. Uptick in shootings, increase in records. As of Thursday, Phoenix police officers have shot 22 people this year, all of whom were reportedly armed with some sort of weapon, usually a gun, according to records maintained by the Republic. It's not clear how many incidents were captured on video, but Howard said officials have been reviewing critical incidents, sometimes several in one meeting, with community leaders and those involved in the incidents, as spelled out in the protocol. Part of the delay in releasing records has stemmed from the department's long-standing backlog in fulfilling public records requests. Phoenix police have fully recognized the system was not responsive enough to anyone seeking records, Howard said. Excluding traffic reports, Phoenix police field about 75,000 requests for records each year, Howard said. That has spurred a backlog to the point where many records aren't released until well after criminal proceedings have wrapped up, but that backlog is down to just a few months, Howard said. Increased staffing, a web-based records request portal and a streamlined process should speed up when requests are fulfilled, he said. That means videos and other items potentially classified as evidence, according to Montgomery, could be releasable within days of an incident, as opposed to months. Phoenix might still restrict the release of some video on a case-by-case basis, and a disclaimer is baked into the transparency protocol that could allow some wiggle room. Every incident will involve unique circumstances, it says, and their state law allows anyone who is denied access to a public record to challenge the decision in court. Montgomery's letter, though, promises police agencies that if they are sued over withholding records, he will indemnify them. It lists reasons Montgomery believes such records might need to be withheld. It spells out a process to limit release of video evidence only for law enforcement purposes, and describes how prosecutors will pursue protective orders from judges to help keep records private. In an interview with the Republic, Montgomery said the money would come from his own budget and funds that covered day-to-day operations. Montgomery in his letter warned that departments that don't comply and whose release of records spurs a change of venue could be hit with a bill for the office's legal fees later in the case. Changing a venue is extremely rare, Montgomery acknowledged Monday. Montgomery on Monday explained his approach in detail, saying the written rules are meant to spur discussion among police, prosecutors and the news media. He said he might pursue new legislation to alter video release policies and more rigidly determine how such records should be handled. More, behind scenes, prosecutors stall prison reform. Speaking to the Republic during a nearly 2-hour interview Monday afternoon, Montgomery said requests for police officer body-worn camera video stood to break the system. He said his letter to law enforcement agencies and city attorneys across the valley maintains the process that has operated informally for years. But continuing that, he said, would only maintain a system under great stress. The system, he told the Republic, is going to break with you asking for information that you think you have a right to have and that the public needs to know about, and our ability just to process, review, and meet the guidelines and the requirements that we're supposed to have to. Part of his larger plan, Montgomery said, is to encourage conversations among public information officers at police departments, the county attorney's office and the news media. Montgomery said he had hoped to convene a discussion with media outlets within weeks to discuss the review and release of video. The letter says personnel in his office will continue to confer with and guide police departments when someone files a public records request seeking materials and deemed evidence in ongoing court cases, he said. The added layer of bureaucracy and possibility of a records request being referred for judicial review should protect the rights of those involved in ongoing criminal cases, Montgomery said. It could also further slow the system and delay the release of records. The letter doesn't spell out everything, Montgomery said. It's meant to generate conversation and to give us a focus for taking a look at the evidence in question. This is not a contract, he added. In order to practically put this into effect, you've got to have a conversation with folks. Montgomery said he was asked to put his guidance in writing at a recent meeting with law enforcement leaders, including Williamson chiefs from Tempe, Gilbert, Chandler, Mesa and Scottsdale. No West Valley police chiefs were present. Asked Monday if he had a message to departments that have written their own proactive policy for releasing video, without closely consulting with his office, Montgomery's response was sharp and succinct. My May 8th letter, mixed reaction to initial letter. The Republic reviewed the letter with attorneys, law enforcement officials and academics. Some agreed with Montgomery's stated goal to protect the integrity of a criminal prosecution. Paul Charlton, a defense attorney and former U.S. Attorney for the District of Arizona, agreed with Montgomery's policy, noting that much of the language mirrors existing rules of procedure for ongoing cases. Others were shocked by the idea that a county prosecutor, who does not supervise or represent city police departments, would attempt to control their records. Critics warned that the system outlined in the letter would have a chilling effect. The public at large should be worried, said Tom Irvine, a longtime private attorney who has previously represented the Maricopa County Board of Supervisors, after reviewing the letter. If you can't get information about what's happening on criminal matters in your community, or know if police are acting improperly, then you have a big problem. Reach the reporter at 602-444-8515, jpoll@scentral.com or on Twitter, @poll_Jason. Read more, read or share this story, https://azc.cc/2ep